Alright, what's going on? Papa Ganush, Gurvinder, Stevo, Ginger, Dhruv, Scrooge, Ricky, what's going on, boys? I hope you guys had a good day. Welcome. Let's get into it right away then. I guess the inflation numbers were coming out this morning. Everyone was bearish. Obviously, there's good reason we were bearish. I mean, those are the highest inflation numbers we've had in 40 years. But they came right in line. So they cooked the books enough to make it right in line. I mean, 7.9% was expected, 7.9% came. All the other statistics were the exact same, but when you actually look into it, or even if you guys have been to the gas pump, you've been to the grocery store, you've been anywhere, you guys know what inflation is doing right now. It's through the roof. But I'm neither here or there. I mean, the market is the market. This is what we do, and let's get into it. Yesterday's low on SPY was broken pre-market. Then we ripped for a little bit to get some bulls stuck here. Screwed the bulls, then screwed the bears, then screwed the bulls, then screwed the bears, and then just slow grind into the end of the day to screw both sides. And honestly, I posted this chart in Charts Watch List if you guys took a look yesterday. These arrows here, these arrows, what are they? We're in a very clear downtrend since the beginning of January. Every down, we're not going to go straight down in a line on any index, on any stock. You don't go straight down in a line. You need consolidation. Just like we don't go straight up in a stock, we need a bull flag and then continuation. Same thing on the downside. We need, what's up, G Money? How you doing, brother? We need consolidation on the downside as well. So if this, let's see if my mouse works today. So if this is a bull flag, then the exact same thing has to happen on the downside, guys. This is a bear flag. Well, you guys, Jesus Christ. That's a bull flag. That's a bear flag, sorry. And this is a bull flag. So we need consolidation no matter what direction the market is going. And that's exactly what you're seeing here on the daily. Big dump off, bear flag, dump. Big dump off, bear flag, dump. Bear flag, dump. So why would this one be any different? Did we just time the bottom? What's up, Ginger? How you doing? So right now you see a very clear downtrend coming. If the market bounces and takes over this 441-ish, which would put it over this line here, then the downtrend can be broken. Then I can think about getting calls that are months out or swing plays or leaps. But until that happens, we're still in a downtrend. Who's going to tell you that we won't bounce to the 21-day moving average right here? 21-day moving average is at 433.50. We can bounce there and then just dump again. There's nothing telling me that the downtrend is over yet. I will play calls short term, like I said, but puts are still my swing plays for now. As long as this downtrend goes on, intraday action doesn't really matter to me. I mean, yesterday I was red in my P&L. I still took more JPM puts. This morning we sold those. We padded some cash in our accounts, and now we're ready for the next big move. Even if they try to squeeze us out tomorrow, I'm still going to hold. I might even add to my puts. It depends on the price action. If we just absolutely ripped into close tomorrow, I'll probably add more puts for April 14th again. But for right now, we're in a clear downtrend. Until that changes, I'm not going to change my style of trading as either. Same exact thing on QQQ. There's not much to go over here, guys. It's pretty much the exact same scenario. Very clear downtrend. Very clear trend lines here. As long as we're below this trend line, it's just a bear flag. So bear flag, dump, bear flag, dump, bear flag, dump, bear flag, and dump. So let's see. We have FOMC next week as well. I don't really see anyone that's going to be putting millions and billions of dollars long before they hear what the Fed has to say. But again, anything is possible. Let's see if we rip tomorrow. And one thing I do want to note, especially on SPY, is this daily, like if you guys look at this week, so this week started March 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're basically inside of Monday's candle this whole week. Tuesday we dumped below it, then we recovered, and right now we're just sitting right inside Monday's candle. You go to the weekly here. If they want to paint this candle, look at this. They're already starting it. It's starting as a little hammer. If we close this week above 431.55. So if we close above 431.55, that's called painting the candle. Now, why is this important? Because they do this a lot. You know what they do? They chop you up all week up and down. And then when people go back and look at a weekly chart of SPY, they'll say, oh, it closed as a green hammer. right? And they'll get bullish. Next week, they'll dump it right back on them, just like they did right here. You see this big green weekly hammer? No follow through. These kind of hammer candles are very bullish, but they need follow through. Same thing here, hammer candle. Next week, inverted hammer, and then they brought it right back down. So even if we do put in a hammer this week, don't get fooled. Next week, they can bring it right back down. So 431.55 is a likely close. If we close above it tomorrow is likely. Just for them painting the candle, it still won't make me bullish. But keep an eye out for that. XLF was the strongest this morning, the weakest in the afternoon. This chart still, like, what do you want from this chart? Like, this whole downtrend, bounce to the 8-day, dump, bounce to the 8-day, dump, bounce to the 8-day, dump, bounce to the 8-day, dump. So why am I gonna get bullish here? Tell me one reason to get bullish on financials. I literally can't find a single reason. Until they, look at this downtrend, straight down, right? When they bounce to the 8-day, they dumped it. When they close a candle above the 8-day moving average, then I will probably get out of my puts. When the continuation happens, then I'll probably get long. And then look at the run you could have caught if you waited for confirmation. There's no problem in waiting for confirmation at all. You don't need to catch bottoms. IWM strongest index today. As I said, if we do start an uptrend, IWM will be the first one to show you. What's up, Carlos? How you doing? And IWM is just basing right now. Today was the strongest index. But again, we're still underneath the 20, what's it, 20? We closed at 199.90. The 21 day is at 222 cents. So every time it's hit, I mean, IWM's just basing now. IWM already went through its downtrend back here, as you see. And now it's just kind of basing, which shows that it's productive. This is a productive base. That shows that it's ready almost to go long on this. So as soon as we break over these highs over here, I think IWM will be ready to go. When IWM starts going over 206.65, I think the rest of the market can follow. So keep a very close eye on small caps. They usually lead on the way up from COVID, and then they also lead on the way down in a correction. So IWM, if that one turns around, get over 206.65 or 207 level, I think the market has bottomed and we will see a rip, but not until 206. VIX was steadily grinding up, finally broke this trend line that we've been using since February 9th. It did break down. Let's see if it can hold the 21 day. If it pulls back more, watch for the 50 day touch at 25. We have FOMC next week, so I don't think we're going to get down to 25. But some consolidation is good after this long run up, and it should mean the market goes up a little bit more. Let's see what the VIX does tomorrow is very important because the weekly close will show you. Again, they could paint the candle and make this look like an inverse hammer or like a bearish engulfing even. If we get below 28 tomorrow, it's a bearish engulfing candle to the downside on the weekly, which is usually a bad sign. It'll be like this candle here on December 6th, where you see VIX started basing. Be like this candle here on October 4th, which showed the end of the move, and so on and so forth. So let's see where VIX goes tomorrow. But for right now, it did close underneath the trend line. VIX is bearish on the daily chart. Bitcoin was strong 2 days ago when Yellen's comments got leaked, or it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yeah, so Bitcoin was bullish, went up 3,211 in 1 day, and then it gave it all back the next day. So that's not too bullish. We're just kind of basing out. It's just like IWM, guys. So when you're in a downtrend like this, what you do want to see, you want to see a little base form. That shows bottoming. This is what bottoming looks like. Increased volume, a base without breaking lows, and we're just looking for a reversal. Above 45,800, I think Bitcoin can start going. So I gave you the IWM number, I gave you the Bitcoin number. If we get above there, we can go on a big rally. But as long as we're underneath there, we're just basing. There's no need to catch bottoms or tops. You just want to catch the meat of the move. JPM, called this one out yesterday. I called out the 130s. This morning, they opened up over 50%. We took that off the table. I still have a couple free runners. Other than that, I'm completely out of JPM. I'm going to leave the free runners. Last time they went to like 400, 500%, and I already sold all of them. So I said I'll leave runners the next time I play this one. Had a big pop, very strong in the morning, and then financials were the weakest in the close. Everything else kind of V-shaped to highs, but JPM stayed near its lows. So the daily chart is showing you exactly what's going on in here. It's, again, the same chart. Every time we big dump, bounce to the 8-day, big dump, bounce to the 8-day, big dump, bounce. You see how easy it is when you scroll out? Instead of looking at 5-10 minute charts all day, scroll out to the daily and weekly, it starts getting easier for you. Other than that, let's see if we can go retest March 8th lows of 127.27. And then TSM, another short I took today. Didn't go heavy in this one at all. I called it out in the group. I went kind of light. Why did I go light? It's a good setup. It's a great setup. Look at the same thing. Die. Check the 8-day. Dump. Check the 8-day. Dump. Check the 8-day. And do we get that dump to these lows of 98.62? That'll put our puts in the money. We'll probably have 100-200%. Let's see how tomorrow plays out. If it closes above the 8-day tomorrow, I will probably cut it at the end of the day because they're March 18th. Anything for April 14th, I'll keep. I'm not worried about those ones. But next week puts and obviously tomorrow's puts, if they show any kind of bullish sign like closing above the 8-day, closing above today's candle, I'll probably cut them tomorrow. UPS is one of those. It's probably the only put that's actually hurting me right now. Most of them are only down 10-20%. This one's down like 50% for me. What's up, Rom? I'll go over them. 1 second. CLF, I'm all out of. I sold it for like 50%. Like 2-3 days ago, we called it out in the group. So UPS, what I'm looking at here, Bookie pointed me out the weekly weakness here. It seems like it cannot get over this 213.80. It tried it so many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, reject. 5 times it couldn't keep above 214-ish. So we're staying below. Right now the weekly candle looks really bullish in my opinion, just because we're above the 50-day moving average. If tomorrow we close below 202, I will have no stress in the world about this UPS. Then I'm confirmed that it'll go a lot lower. If it closes above 202, then I may have to trim. I mean, I have April 14th, but I did go a little bit heavy in these ones, so I may have to trim a little bit just to feel more comfortable in it. I don't know what your guys' position sizing is, but I do expect it to work out. I mean, today we regained over the 200-day moving average. We held it at the low. If we go back below the 200, I think this thing collapses all the way down to 180. But if we hold above the 200-day, there's a very good chance we can go test that 214 again. So keep that in mind on UPS. You have to keep both sides open in your mind. DB was the other short I took today for March 18th. Again, not too heavy. I don't want to load up puts after this big downturn, but I really like these puts. Like Bookie pointed out, the weekly looks like a weed stock, for God's sakes. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is the weekly on DB. Big short squeeze and then just death. It reminds me of this one. Yeah, and that's Tilray. So the weekly is ugly, daily ugly, everything ugly. Shitty bank. Europe's economy is going to shit because of the war. Same setup. Downtrend, went to the 8-day, rejected, and now do we get that next leg down? Or do we go and break the 8-day moving averages? That's basically it. Tomorrow we'll tell everything on these puts, especially because they're March 18th. I'll probably get out of most of them by tomorrow. Tesla here, just basing. I don't really see anything. This is more bullish than bearish to me. Why do I say that? The 200-day moving average is at 844.51. Today we closed at 838, so just underneath the 200-day. Tomorrow, if we close back above the 200-day on the daily and we hold above the 200-day on the 50-day on the weekly, which is at 812, which seems likely. So if we close above the 200-day and the 50-day weekly on Tesla, I think it's set up for a big rally. If the market cooperates, obviously. If the market's weak, then this one's going to go right back down. But this is set up beautifully for a run. Like, that's a very clear resistance. If Tesla can hold the 200-day tomorrow and it can hold the 50-day moving average on the weekly tomorrow, I think Tesla will lead. Like, it's going to be one of the biggest runners. Why do I say that? You can even see on the weekly here. Every time, look at last time. It tried to break this 50-day on the weekly so many months. Like, from May all the way to about September. It was just sitting on top of the 50-day moving average, just grinding higher and higher. And then all of a sudden just absolutely went bananas. So look for Tesla. If it holds 812 tomorrow, Tesla can actually go on a big run. If it closes below 812, I think it can flush big next week. Odds, I'd say it all depends on the market. If the market is good, Tesla's going to absolutely go crazy. If the market is bad, Tesla's going to close below the 200-day and the 50-day, and it's going to dump next week. Other than that, CLF. This chart looks very good for now. We did hit the puts for 50%. We got this huge run. So this Scrooge, I know you're still in here, Scrooge McBlunts. You asked me about this CNX, I believe. Was that the name? CENX. So Scrooge, look at this chart. You see how it went on this huge run, bull flag, and now it's just consolidating. Do we rip up or do we break down? So tomorrow is all based on CENX basically. If we break the low tomorrow, this run's probably over and they probably have to consolidate a long time. It's the exact same thing that happened today on CLF. Look at this. So this was the high yesterday. This was the low yesterday. If we broke, where is this thing? If we broke these lows here, this run is over. It's going to consolidate for some weeks, for some months. Like it can consolidate for a long time after this kind of move. But we broke the high, so we're continuing higher. And now I expect CLF to go at least test these previous highs of 2780. At least test this high right here of 2780. If it gets through there, then it can start challenging these monthly and weekly resistances, which is right at $29. And then next after 29 is 40 bucks. So 29 and 40 to the upside for CLF. It showed a perfect bull flag breakout. So let's see if we can get continuation tomorrow. We need over 29 for the next move in CLF. Thank you guys for attending. I'll see you tomorrow.